Welcome back to My Face. My name is Brianna. I'm the head honcho here at Bamby Media, and I'm so pleased that you've joined me today. Today we're discussing a topic, the podcast slump. Why is my podcast not growing? Why do I feel like I'm super unmotivated? My downloads are going backwards, or they're just staying the same. Where? Brianna, please help me. I'm sad. Make me feel better about my life and my podcast. I may not be able to help you feel better about your life, but I can certainly help you with the podcast slump. The first thing we're going to chat about is podcast statistics. So I want you to go into the back end of your podcast statistics, and I want you to look back at your most popular episodes. Now, preferably not episodes that are super old, because they're going to be more, like there's going to be more downloads on them because they're just older. And I want you to pull out the top 10. From that top 10, write them down, and then I want you to go and listen to them. Now, you don't have to listen to them all the way through. I want you to listen to them enough so that for each of those episodes, you can put a few dot points to jog your memory, like why it was good. Okay, cool. This was, a great interview with X. They shared it on their socials, or this was a great solo episode because it was something that was, topical or whatever. So get a few points for each of those episodes and see if there's any recurring themes. Was the quality particularly good? Did you also share it to video? Did you have a video podcast episode? Was it better graphics than usual? Did you share it consistently on your socials? Whatever, see if there's a common theme as to why those episodes went well, and then see if you can double down on what made those good. It could be that the topic was something that was really hot at the time, like maybe you were doing episodes on the COVID pandemic because it was COVID pandemic times and, working from home and stuff, and that doesn't really make a lot of sense for you to be working with now, and it's, it's moved on, it's not relevant. So some of that is not going to be right for you, but there's definitely going to be things in there that you can pull from that and go, okay, I really need to get back to X. The other thing I want you to do also is go into the back end of Apple Podcast Connect and look at the consumption rate. I've done an episode on the podcast about the consumption rate, so go and listen to that. But I want you to just check that and see, like your most recent episodes even, what's the percentage of people actually listening all the way through to those? Is it maybe that you're getting a bit boring? Like what's happening? Have a look at that content there. So your statistics are going to tell you things, but you have to give yourself enough time and space to review the content that you have and look at that. Next thing I want you to do is look at your branding. Is your branding a bit tired? Does your podcast cover need a bit of updating? Do your social snippets, are they just the same audiograms that you've been doing for however long that you've done the podcast as well? These things need to be updated fairly frequently for people to engage with them. Podcasts that have social media snippets that are very good, that are high quality video snippets, convert into actual podcast listenership. And we put a lot of time and effort into video snippets here at Bamby Media, and that is a part of a lot of the packages that we have on our website, bambymedia.com/services. You can see the packages that include video snippets, but there's a caveat to that, okay? For you to have video snippets, that's great, but if their quality is bad, then it's not going to be doing the things that you want it to do. So you need to up-level some things. Get a better webcam, or invest in a actual DSLR camera that you can use as a webcam, like this one here. It takes you from that brand where you were to, hey, I'm better now. Whatever you're doing from a branding perspective, if it feels tired, if it feels the same, if people are too used to seeing you in that format, then go, okay, I need to do something to refresh this, not just for myself, but for my audience as well. I want you to also look at, maybe I want to open myself up to different markets. Like maybe I'm kind of tapped out in the content that I was delivering. I feel like I've given all I can in that space. I'm a bit bored of it myself. I'm a bit sick of it, but I really feel like I could pivot into something that feels a bit more relevant to my audience and myself now. And that's okay. You can change what your podcast is about at any time. Actually, there's a good example of that. Alex Hormozi, who, he's massive on social media and podcasts and all the things now, but he didn't used to be. He had a podcast. It'd been going for 4 years or something. It was a really long time. And it was basically about, running gyms and flipping gyms and all sorts of stuff. And he spoke about that a lot on his podcast. And then he started to talk about not just that, but business as well, because he knew a lot about business. He kind of pivoted what he was talking about so that it was for a bigger audience than where he was. And it started to grow. And then he incorporated social media and was just everywhere, because he then used social media. He changed what he was talking about. He pivoted into something else and he expanded his offering, and he invested a shit ton of money, to be frank, as far as when you look at how much content he puts out and all the social snippets he does and just the quality of all those things. He's got a team behind him that helps him do those things. It's not like he's doing that himself. So know that what you up level, you will probably need to pay for, and a lot of it you will need to outsource. You can't do it yourself. But there's got to be a point where, and this brings into my next point, why are you doing this show in the first place? What is the purpose? Where are you trying to get to? And if your purpose is, I just want to, I love, it's kind of like a hobby for me. I just love talking and I love interviewing people. That's fine. It doesn't have to be some massive mission and to grow some huge empire and whatever. But your why is very important in everywhere in your life, but in this space particularly. Because if your why isn't matching what you're doing, then you need to change some things to make it actually happen. And a lot of the time you've lost your way a little bit with the why, and you're just delivering the same sort of stuff without coming and bringing it back to, okay, yeah, but who is this for? Who am I trying to connect to? And what am I trying to get out of it as well? Am I trying to increase my business profitability by getting more people in through the door, by talking about my services on my podcast or interviewing people? Am I trying to get more speaking gigs? All this stuff. Like, you have to have a list as to why this podcast exists, who it serves, and what you're actively doing to achieve those things. And you don't need to do it all by yourself. In fact, I would say, please don't do it all by yourself, because it's super lonely. As to whether you employ someone on your team to help you run your show or you outsource to a production team like ours, there's something that you have to do there to actually feel like you can get yourself out of the slump of where you currently are. The other thing I would say is, if you're looking or feeling like you're in a bit of a slump, it could be time to do a little bit of a tech upgrade. Sometimes I find that you've been using the same microphone, you've been using the same webcam or whatever, and there's been a lot of advancements in that world. And so sometimes you get left behind a little bit because you haven't upgraded what you could potentially upgrade. I'm not saying go and spend a butt ton of money on all the latest gear, but you could just need to upgrade one thing. So maybe that's a better quality microphone, or maybe that's getting your microphone off your desk and onto a stand so that it's closer to your mouth. Or maybe it's, instead of having just the inbuilt webcam that you're videoing, maybe that's buying a better quality webcam that sticks at the front, or you go that level up and you get a DSLR camera and you get fancy lights and all the things. There's stages for all of this, but it could be worth just looking at one thing that you could improve and just change that one thing. And that can give you enough fire to go and get out of that slump and do something extra. So if you're feeling like you're in a little bit of a slump, I'd say this is the place to start. Go back to this episode. Don't be afraid to listen to it again and again and take away from it what you will as well. There'll be a full transcript here. If you want to follow along, please hit subscribe, as it just mentioned there on YouTube. Hit the subscribe button and like this content, and I'll give you as much of this as I possibly can. I'm all about giving value back to the community. If you want help producing your content, then you can certainly reach out to us here at bambymedia.com. Just go to the contact page and fill in an application there. Our services range depending on the stage that you're at. We don't take on a lot of clients these days, but the ones that we do, we really get behind and want to help as much as we can to grow in the best way possible. Have a great day. Bye.